I'd like to call the Tuesday, June 13th, 2023 Housing and Redevelopment Authority meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Are there any changes, corrections, or additions to the agenda tonight? Hearing none, we'd be looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lewis. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Doblinger to approve the agenda for the June 13th, 2023 Housing and Redevelopment Authority meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Moving on to the item number 3, which is the approval of the May 23rd, 2023 HRA board meeting minutes. Are there any questions regarding the minutes? Hearing none, we'd be looking for a motion to approve the May 23rd, 2023 HRA board meeting minutes.
Move to approve meeting minutes.
There's been a motion by Commissioner Wooten. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Lewis to approve the May 23rd, 2023 HRA board meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Carter.
Thank you, Chair. Just a quick question to Ms. Coleman. I was in attendance on WebEx, but I did not participate. Should I abstain or should I vote? Okay.
Thank you. You can vote.
Thank you for the clarification. So, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the May 23rd, 2023 HRA board meeting minutes, please do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Now we'll be moving on to new business, item 4.1, which is a resolution relating to the authority's taxable revenue bonds, Series 2018C, and approving the execution and delivery of lease satisfaction and related documents days in property. May we have the staff report?
Yes, thank you, Chair Huhim, Erica Coleman, HRA Administrator. So in 2018, the HRA did authorize and approve the approval for a contract for private development between the HRA and Bloomington Crossroads Venture, LLC, who is the developer for this. And this is for the redevelopment of the Days Inn property located at the northeast corner of Highway 100 and Interstate Highway 494. As a part of that approval, the HRA did issue bonds on September 1st, 2018 in the principal amount of $5,150,000 to purchase the property from the developer and leased it to the city, who then subleased it to the developer. So the HRA did adopt a First Amendment to the contract that allowed the developer to demolish the hotel and portion of the other site improvements prior to repurchasing the site from the HRA. Some of you may recall that this happened after the HRA was also able to work with community members and other city departments and divisions to hold a housing resource pop-up during the COVID pandemic. And so for anyone that was in the hotel, they were able to be provided with resources, information prior to the hotel being demolished. And so then in 2022, in February to be exact, the HRA adopted an amended and restated contract for private redevelopment for the developer to construct a fully enclosed automobile dealership. The developer has not commenced and will not commence the proposed dealership, and so they are currently exploring other potential developments. But due to the provisions of the existing contract, the developer is required to purchase the site back from the HRA by August 1st, 2023. This is the date that the bonds that the HRA took out are called. And then the developer has given the HRA notice that they intend to repurchase the property on or around July 19th, 2023, which would be satisfying the requirements of this contract. The developer has made all payments related to the bond and expenses of this property, and the only expenses that the city and HRA incurred regarding the property is staff time and tying up HRA development funds as a backstop if the bond payments were not made on time. So the City Council did adopt a resolution on June 5th of this year, directing staff to prepare the notice of redemption and to execute and deliver lease satisfaction related documents. The action before the HRA right now is the final step to call the bonds for redemption and prepayment and approve the execution and delivery of the documents necessary to satisfy the requirements of the contract. Our special counsel and bond counsel, Julie Eddington, is on the line to answer any questions, and our general counsel is also available if there are additional questions outside of this item.
Are there any questions? Commissioner Carter.
Thank you, Chair. So just to clarify for people who are watching, so this is basically a net zero for the city, other than staff time, like you mentioned.
Yes, that is correct, Commissioner Carter. This is a net zero, other than staff time that we would normally have allocated to any project or development in the city.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you for the clarification. Are there any other questions? Hearing no other questions, we will be looking for a motion to adopt a resolution relating to the authority's taxable lease revenue bonds, Series 2018C, and approving the execution and delivery of lease satisfaction and related documents.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Carter and a second by Commissioner Martin. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting a resolution relating to the authority's taxable lease revenue bonds, Series 2018C, and approving the execution and delivery of lease satisfaction and related documents, please do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Moving on to item 5.1 is the HRA budget adjustment. May we have the staff report?
Yes, thank you, Chair Huhim. I have a brief PowerPoint presentation just to help us walk along this information here as it relates to the request that I have before you of a motion to adopt the resolution making alterations to the approved budget. And so this actually is in reference to what we have affectionately called our Ralph lots, located at 82nd and Humboldt Avenue. So just to know what I'm requesting here is that I'm requesting of the HRA board and then subsequently, if approved by the HRA board, the city council for approval of funds and the process to achieve city goals of redeveloping the 5 right-of-way acquisition loan fund, that's what RALPH stands for, lots at 82nd and Humboldt Avenue with a minimum of 5 affordable units, which would include the potential of ownership and or rental at 80% AMI or below. And so where are these lots? Well, the 5 Ralph lots that are in question are represented in green on this very broad picture. The other lots that are on this have to do with the fact that in total there was about 22 lots that the city did purchase, apply for funding and purchase for the purpose of Minnesota Department of Transportation identifying these lots as a need for potential future highway expansion, stormwater, any type of other activity and or work around the highway there. And so the lots that are in yellow are the lots that are going to continue to be held for water resources as identified by Minnesota Department of Transportation. The lots that are in blue are still needed for the I-494 vision that the State Department has. But the lots that are in green are the lots that they have identified and released for clear to sale. And so I want to walk through the timeline because it's a lot. So in 2003, the City Council authorized the Met Council funding application for 28 parcels total. Mind you, this is for funding to purchase the properties. The property owners at the time still had to be willing to sell their properties, which is why there might be a little gap in between where those lots are located on that map on the previous slide. This was completed through Resolution 2003-25 by the City Council. So between the years of 2004 to 2008, the city did execute loan document with the Met Council. They did complete purchase agreements with owners, and they did take land title. They took title to the land of the properties that were sold to them. And then of the properties that were sold to the city, structures were removed. Again, the reason that they execute a loan document is because they use the Ralph funding to purchase these parcels and to remove the structures. So from 2008 to about 2021, 22, it was very quiet. We were all under the impression that they would still be proceeding with the need for these lots for future highway work. Well, in 2022, they let us know that 5 lots were being released and were no longer needed for this work or for the vision for the highway. So there was a lot of staff work that was done to communicate with the Met Council and the MnDOT on what does this mean, what are the requirements, what would you like us to do? Basically, the Met Council said, well, we would like you to repay us the loan amount, which is over $1 million for the 5 parcels. Staff did work with the Met Council and say, well, what is the process? Because that's not the value of those lots because they don't have structures on them. Met Council said, we'd like you to get appraisals done. So we did by approved appraisers. At the same time, or on the tail end of it, the HRA, this board, did approve an application for the Met Council to apply for their affordable homeownership funding, which is a pilot program that they have. And the approval was for us to apply for the funding to potentially develop on these lots with a developer partner. And so we did identify Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity, and that we would do a dollar-to-dollar match. That was for the 5 lots, Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity, and we asked for up to $75,000 per lot with a match of $75,000 per lot from the HRA. The City Council passed Resolution 2022-153 in August of 2022. And this was for the City Council to waive the process for soliciting sealed bids with respect to the disposal of these specific Ralph parcels, that we would, as the HRA, be the agent for the city in the marketing and disposal of these lots in conformance with the Ralph program requirements. Also, they also approved in that resolution that the mayor and or city manager would be authorized to direct and execute all necessary and appropriate documents to carry out the intention of that resolution. So we get to 2023, and in January of 2023, February, we were notified that we were approved as the HRA for the Met Council funding, but for 4 properties. So I want to be clear, we applied for 5 lots, saying that we would do a minimum of 5 properties. Met Council came back and said we're approving 4 properties, 4 units of affordable home ownership, long-term affordability home ownership. So long-term affordability is a minimum of 15 years, affordable at 80% AMI. And so they approved $300,000. So that's still the up to $75,000 per unit, plus the dollar-to-dollar match, which is the $300,000 from the HRA. So then after they approved our application, in April, Met Council approves acceptance of the appraised value of the 5 lots, which came back at $549,000 total for all 5 lots. And they would consider the full payment of $549,000 as satisfying the loans. And so they would write off the remaining over $600,000 that was owed on the original loan. So we are here today. Today, I am asking for a budget adjustment because this is $549,000 for the purchase of these lots to satisfy the loan to the Met Council. But what it also does is remove the restrictions, which is why we can't develop on them. We can't do anything on them as long as those restrictions are on them. It would remove those restrictions. And then pending approval by the HRA board, I'm also looking to go to the City Council to request that they actually convey the land to the HRA for the $549,000. And so why? Well, this aligns with our Forward 2040 Comprehensive Plan, specifically Section 3, the housing element, that we will increase the supply and access to affordable housing, which is new and preservation of existing affordable units. We will foster housing stability, and we will be increasing the supply of housing overall. I know that 20 years ago, the houses were removed. However, what we are looking at today is the opportunity to develop a minimum of 5 units on these 5 parcels. And so as it aligns with our strategic plan of Bloomington Tomorrow Together, which the mission statement is to cultivate an enduring and remarkable community where people want to be, I like to say the role of the HRA is to help that mission by cultivating an enduring and remarkable community where people can be. It aligns with strategic objective number 2, that we will achieve significant improvement in the indices measuring the community's environmental and individual health. As we all know, housing is a social determinant of health. And then strategy number 3, which is identify and align efforts across organizations in the community to leverage, develop, and maximize assets to achieve mutually beneficial outcomes. And what better asset is there in working with a mission-based organization to develop affordable homes that will be long-term affordable for homeownership opportunities in the Bloomington community. And so what is the process? So today, like I mentioned, asking the request of the board is a budget adjustment of $549,000 in the development fund in particular. That would then, on the 26th, ask the city council to receive the funds from the HRA in the amount of $549,000 for the purpose of remitting the payment to the Met Council. And after they remit payment to the Met Council and the Met Council removes the restrictions and records title, that the city would then convey the property through a quitclaim deed to the HRA. And the purpose for that is just for the HRA to be able to work with the developer mission-based organizations to own that property, develop on it, and sell that to an end buyer if that is what the HRA board chooses to do. Also, because the HRA would potentially be coming in with $549,000, it would be up to the HRA board on if you did want to sell that land, what would be the amount. Understanding that our end goal is achieving affordable home ownership and that we know it takes subsidy on all different sides to achieve that. But then if we were to sell for any amount, that those land sale proceeds would be returned to the HRA. And so the next steps is to continue with Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity to develop a minimum of 4 long-term affordable homes for home ownership. Again, that's locked in because of the agreement we have for the funding with the Met Council for the LHIA Affordable Homeownership Pilot. It is Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity for at least 4 units of affordable homeownership on these properties. And then that the HRA would seek additional affordable housing-based mission developer for additional lot or lots. And the reason that it says lot or lots is because we do have our single-family and two-family zoning standards that have been amended. And so in talking with Habitat and talking with our planning division, we'll find out if there's opportunity for any of those lots to hold more than 1 single-family unit and or assemblage of the contiguous units, or the contiguous parcels, because there's 3 lots that are contiguous. What does that look like? That may provide for additional opportunity for another unit or another lot to be developed. So I just wanted to clarify that. And so the suggested motion before you is to adopt the resolution making alterations to the approved budget, and I can stand for any questions.
Thank you for that. It's a lot to take in. Are there any questions? All right. Hearing no questions, we'll be looking for a motion to adopt the resolution making alterations to the approved budget.
Motion to adopt.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wooten. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, okay. A second by Commissioner Doblinger to adopt the resolution making alterations to the approved budget. Is there any discussion? I would just like to say this is pretty exciting. in my mind, because this is, there was a lot of discussion when the assessment came out and what that was going to look like, and this is what it looks like. It looks like not just high density affordable housing, but actual possibility of home ownership and single family housing. So I commend the staff for doing this and getting this together, and it's very exciting. I just wanted to share that. So with that, though, all those in favor of adopting the resolution making alterations to the approved budget, please do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. All right. Moving on to item 6.1, Commissioner questions and comments. Are there any discussion items this evening?
Chair Huhim? Okay, I just have one that I wanted to bring forward, because as we just talked about these lots and the request that the HRA, of the HRA board, and then potential request of the city council. Since presenting and providing information at our board meetings and city council, we have had some Bloomington homeowners reach out that want to voluntarily sell their property to the Bloomington HRA. And so I wanted to bring that forward. Some properties may be properties that need to be raised and removed. Some of them may not be. We don't know. But I did want to bring that forward because the process does include that we would need to discuss terms and have approval by this body to negotiate a purchase agreement, which may be a closed part of a meeting when we're discussing specific property. So I just wanted to bring that forward. Wanted to be clear, this is voluntary. This is not the HRA going after it, but homeowners that are voluntarily wanting to sell their property. Some of them may be referrals due to code violations in the city or lack of maintenance, but that may be coming before you quite soon. So I just wanted to give you an update on that and let you know if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. But we do have some opportunities that may be coming our way.
That is super exciting. I just want to add to that that is showing what working together as one within the city of Bloomington and what the opportunities that are becoming available to us. So great work by staff on all parts. Is there any other discussions, or questions to Administrator Coleman? Nothing else? Oh, yes. Commissioner Carter.
Thank you, Chair. I guess this is just more out of curiosity. So for people who want to sell their home to the city, I mean, are there some incentives or benefits, not from the city ourselves, but like a tax break or like anything like that? I'm just curious, and if so, would that information be on our website to encourage people to consider that option when they're selling? Or is it kind of just like a typical sale?
Thank you, Chair Huhim and Commissioner Carter. I think it's real estate can be very unique, and so it is on a case-by-case basis. We also have advertised that, because some people want to sell their property because they want to see it go towards long-term affordability. And so just like the city HRA is an option, we have also made sure to put out there about West Hennepin Affordable Housing Land Trust and Habitat for Humanity are also options to get properties and rehabilitate them. So I can't say that I have anything set that says, oh, there's some type of break for them in terms of selling their property. Because of the differences that come into play, whether they have a mortgage, they don't, if there's other liens, violations, there's a lot in there that has to be looked at.
Any other questions or discussion? Commissioner Wooten.
Does it only involve single-family homes?
I thank you for the question, Commissioner Wooten. I think we would consider what would be brought before us, especially what it is as a total, how much funding do we have available, and what would be the requirements of the end result. And again, this is mostly just voluntarily them approaching us. But I think between the city HRA and the port as a whole, we look at all different types of properties and take into consideration.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, we have reached that part of the night where we'll be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Commissioner, we have a motion by Commissioner Wooten. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Doblinger to adjourn the Tuesday, June 13th, 2023 Housing and Redevelopment Authority meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.